fitting is that we play Rudy with Notre Dame's coach on the line.
So that's right. One of the most infamous Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish players, Rudy Rudiger. But now we've got the head coach of the Notre Dame Titans, Buster Davis, on the line with us. Coach Davis, good morning to you.
Good morning. How you doing? How you guys doing today?
Man, we're doing great, Coach. What a story for your Notre Dame Titans, who pick up an opening round playoff win last night, defeating Shadyside 34-12 at Spartan Municipal Stadium in a game heard live on WNXT2. Coach, what is so remarkable is that you played this team in the regular season. You went to their house. They knocked you off by 30 points, and last night you beat them by 22 points. What a turnaround. Tell us how it all came about.
Well, I think our kids, again, we had an unbelievable week of practice, and we came out and just did a really good job of executing and dominating, right? Did a really good job. The first time I thought all year that we really execute at a high rate. And so that's kind of what you kind of saw. And playoffs are games of execution, right? And not making mistakes. So we didn't make mistakes, and we executed really high, and that's kind of why we got the score we got last night.
Coach Matt Payton sent me your stats last night, and looking at some of your figures, you got incredible quarterback play once again from Ethan Kingery, as he completed 18 of 25 passes for 277 yards and tossed 5 touchdowns. He just continues to improve, it seems like.
Yeah, he has. He's continued to get better, and he's just getting better, right? And so when you start to get better, and you're getting better at these times here, and even more so just than football, I think he's really turned the corner as to being the leader of our program, right? The guy who touches his ball every snap. And that's really what you're really seeing, is him turning the corner as a leader more so than just as a thrower.
And, boy, he's got some good players to throw the football, too. Luke Castey had another incredible game for you last night. He wound up with 8 receptions for 136 yards and was on the receiving end of 3 of Kingery's 5 touchdown passes. Talk to me about Cassidy.
He's a special kid. He's, if not the hardest working kid we have in our program. Super high IQ in football. Was always asking me questions, right? But works his butt off. He was out for the first 5 games, and now he's just coming back and and we're allowing him to be himself, right? I think that's one of the great things about our program here, is that you come here, right? We're going to allow you to be who you want to be within our program. And, Luke's allowed to be who he wants to be, because he works hard. He's always watching film. He's always asking questions. He's always doing the small attribute things that don't have a listing to him or a number to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason why he's playing so well. But we got a really great nucleus of kids here. So, again, that's what you're starting to see right now, just the flow of our entire program.
Buster, this is Mark. You played this team earlier in the year up at their place. They were able to win by a sizable margin, but you'd mentioned how you had more or less a different team. You had a lot of injuries and such in that first time around, and you've switched some personnel around. Did you really take anything from that game before because it was you were so different, or how was the approach going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, we prepare. This is the thing. Like, preparation to me is the key to all success in life, and so we prepare no matter what game it is. Like, it's the game of all games, and we look back and see that crew that we took up there. I think we only dressed 14, 15 kids, and 9 of them were freshmen, right? And so I think, and with the games kids we got came back after that, it's come back in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Like, we're just different. And I think the preparation of our kids, like I said, like we had the best week of practice we ever had since I've been here in 2 years. And not only that, they execute at such, they executed the best I've ever seen in 2 years here. So it just shows the capabilities of our kids and how much they've locked in. And again, we always talk about getting to that second season because really, everybody's so hung up on all the things, right, during the season, but it's really about getting to the second season and then maximizing and hoping you're doing things that we're doing, which is we're getting better as the season goes.
Coach, you are certainly doing that. And looking at some more of your stats, in addition to Ethan Kingery, your quarterback, throwing for 277 yards, he was also your leading rusher last night as he ran for 78 yards and led the way on the ground. Bryce McGraw, a dual threat, he had 57 yards, 55 yards rushing, and he also wound up with 6 catches for 89 yards receiving. Eugene Collins had 3 receptions for 50 yards. And then on the defensive side, your leading tackler was Matthew Hiles, who wound up with 10 tackles. Just a great all-around effort, it sounds like, from your Notre Dame Titans as you moved above the 500 mark to improve to 6-5, and most importantly, advance to round number 2 in the playoffs. Your next opponent will be Danville. They're the top seed in Region 27, Division 7. You will travel to their house next Friday night. They defeated Bridgeport 54-0 last night. What can you tell us about your next opponent, Coach?
Well, I think, obviously you just said there's no one team in the region, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, like if you want to be the best, you got to go beat people at their house, right?
That's right.
And so this is a great challenge not only for myself as a coach and our coaching staff, but for our kids, like our junior class and our freshman class, right? Because that's who we're mostly built out of, is juniors and freshmen. So it's a great opportunity for our juniors who went to play Caldwell last year, who, didn't end the way we want to end up, but now it's a very similar situation, but they're a year older. Our kids are a year older. They've been in the second round on the road game and versus a really good opponent. I think Caldwell went to the semifinals last year in D7, so everybody's building Danville to do the same. And again, it's a challenge for myself personally, and our coach staff, but more important, like our kids, get to go play in an atmosphere. Because again, you're talking about being legendary, right? You got to go win games like this, right? You look at people talk about the 2 teams that came before us and the 2 state title teams that had legendary games that created those opportunities for us to be number 1. And so this is one of those games that we would call one of these games that we have, so say a 5 game, right? Because it means so much, not only for personally or your kids personally, but for your season. And also, we win this game. No one's ever gone to the third round playoffs in Notre Dame history. So it's a lot riding on this game, but it's just a football game. So we just got to do really well and execute like we did last week, and we should be okay.
Coach, I'm sure that you will piggyback off of that great week of practice that you enjoyed this past week and continue that on into this coming week and be ready for your matchup with Danville. Congratulations again on the big 34-14 victory at home over Shadyside last night, and best of luck to you and your Titans moving forward. Thank you so much for phoning in.
I appreciate you guys. Talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye-bye.
See you, bud. That is Coach Buster Davis of the Notre Dame Titans, winners last night in a game heard on WNXT2. Boy, that is quite a story, and, it's just amazing the turnaround. As Coach said, you went to Shadyside in the regular season with 13 kids dressed, 9 of them freshmen, got people healthy now, people in different positions. You figured a lot of things out, and when you fall to a team, I don't care how many injuries you have, how much sickness you have, how many underclassmen you have. When you get beaten by 30 in the regular season and then you play that same team in the playoffs and win by 22, man, that is a story.
Yeah, and they got to feel very good about that. And he mentioned it, right there. It is what it is. You're playing the number 1 team, but you know what? Eventually, if you want to get to where you want to go, sometimes you're going to have to, face a team like that. You got to face the beast. You got to try to slay that dragon, so to speak. Yep. And they're going to get that opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. Well, while we have a moment, we're going to be soon making way for Ohio State pregame coverage as the 4th-ranked Buckeyes will play at number 3, Penn State. That coverage begins in less than 5 minutes. Let's run down the scores from last night, once again involving our area teams. First, all 4 Scioto County teams that made the playoffs are still in the playoffs. All picked up victories last night as it was a great evening for Southern Ohio. West knocked off Chesapeake 42-24. Wheelersburg went to Barnesville and claimed a 24-7 victory. Portsmouth topped Amanda Clear Creek 35-16. The Trojans fell behind 13-0 early on but rallied to get the win. And Notre Dame knocked off Shadyside, as you just heard, 34-12. Elsewhere around Southern Ohio, Ironton rolled Worthington Christian 68-14. It was 21-14 early, and Ironton was having some issues with turnovers, but the Fighting Tigers eventually got it rolling. Fairland topped Zane Trace 31-7. The Columbus Academy prevailed over Piketon 24-7. Harvest Prep defeated Colgrove 40-6. Rock Hill was a winner over Madison Plains 30-21. Eastern Pike ousted Strasburg Franklin 30-6. South Gallia was triumphant over Frontier, 56-14. Jackson bested New Philadelphia, 21-14. Waverly was a winner at Lancaster Fairfield Union, 28-21, and Minster defeated Manchester, 75-14. So, looking at the next round of postseason play, let's start in Division 5, Region 19. The Portsmouth Trojans are going to go to Ironton next Friday. The Fairland Dragons, they're going to play West Muskingum, and that will be in Proctorville. Wheelersburg is going to go to Belmont Union Local. As far as another game in that region, Harvest Prep will take on Columbus Academy. Prep will host. In Region 24, this is Division 6, the West Senators will take on Elmwood Place next Friday. St. Bernard Elmwood Place, the number 5 seed, which got by Miamisburg Dayton Christian last night, 54-0. West will host Elmwood Place at the Rock. Notre Dame will go to Danville. This is in Division 7, Region 27. Titans and the top-seeded Danville Ball Club. They will meet. Notre Dame will play there. Eastern Pike will host South Gallia in a rematch from a regular season contest in which Eastern won. So those two will go at it again. That will be at Eastern Pike High School. And also the Waverly Tigers, they are moving on to round number 2. Waverly will face Indian Valley. Mark that town name again.
Gnadenhutton.
There's a lot of letters in there. And I've never seen that one. Indian Valley will take on the Waverly Tigers, and Indian Valley will host Waverly in Division 4, Region 15. And finally, Region 11 from Division 3. Coach Andy Hall's Jackson Ironmen live to play another day after their 21-14 win over New Philadelphia last night. Jackson will go up against Columbus Bishop Watterson in round number 2 after Bishop Watterson took down Vincent Mary 44-7 yesterday. The Ironmen, an 8 seed, will be on the road to take on the number 1 seed. So that is what is ahead for our regional high school football teams in round number 2 for those left standing.
Chuck, just wanted to throw this out too for people that may not know. You and I were talking about this. We heard it last night at Barnesville, and this is kind of one of those indictments, I guess, against the 16-team field in Division 7, Region 28. Of course, Maria Stein, Marion Local, a dominant team, probably the perennial state power, probably going to win the state again this year. They were the number 1 seed. Number 16 didn't want to play him. Mm-hmm. So they went to number 17. Number 17 didn't want to play him. So they go to number 18, Fort Recovery, whom they played during the year. And Maria Stein, Marion Local, won like 65-14. Fort Recovery agreed to play them, and it was 68-0 last night. So certainly an indictment right there, some evidence right there for those who don't like the 16. It's not going to change, but anyway, you've got some evidence right there. So they ended up playing the 18th team instead of the 16th.
Play devil's advocate, though, if it still was 8, Wheelersburg wouldn't have made the playoffs.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
there's pros and cons, good and bad,
for sure,
with both sides, for sure. We got to make way for Buckeyes football quickly. Best of luck to the Wheelersburg girls volleyball team playing at 2 o'clock today at Logan High School in the Elite 8 against Adena. Also, 3 soccer teams playing in the Elite 8 this weekend. Wheelersburg boys, Minford girls. Good luck to all. You've been listening to the Saturday Morning Sports Line. Buckeyes football is next. Have a good one, everybody.